Hey everyone, this is Colleen with Artwork by Colleen. In my little flower series that I'm putting together, I wanted to do a purple petal cane today. We're going to try something a little bit different. We'll see how it works out. I'm going to make a pretty small one because I really don't need a ton of this flower. I'm really mainly making it just for this one little project. So I'm going to take 3 shades of the purple, and I'm going to go ahead and make a Skinner blend. It'll take me a minute to roll those out, but we all know how to make a Skinner blend. If you don't, I've definitely got a little short video on that. I'm going to also take this green. As I've explained in a couple of my videos before, I take the extra leftover scraps that I have, and I usually chop them up really well, roll them a couple times, and I come out with something that looks similar to this, depending on what I plan to do with it. I was thinking about just adding it in to the floral compilation, but I think what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to push it down a little bit smaller. I'm going to roll it out to make it a little flatter, and I'm going to actually use that as some of the veins in my petal. And we're going to see what that turns out to be. So let me make this a quick Skinner blend, and I'll be right back. Okay, here I am back with the Skinner blend. Different shades of purple. I'm going to run it into the pasta machine long ways like that. And then I'm going to fold it back and forth in the accordion, and I'll come back with a little stack. Here's just a quick view of what it looks like before I stack it up. So I guess we can do that real quick right here. It shouldn't take very long. It's not too much. I'm just going to fold it over, back and forth. We're going to mold it into a shape, so if it's not exactly perfect, don't worry about it. Don't worry about these jagged edges. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this was a clay mixture that I had previously, the light purple, and I had already added glitter to it, so it gives it a little extra sparkle. I love the extra sparkle, always do. And then the white happened to have it too. The dark purple was the only piece without it, but I didn't feel like it was all that important to put it in. So there we have that. So we're not going to do, like I said, it's not going to be a very big leaf, but we're going to start pushing it down a little bit. What we want to do is make it a little bit thinner here this way and make it taller this way. You can also take your block, push it down a little bit, and then just keep forming it like this till we get it a little thicker, because ultimately the leaf's going to go from light to dark, so we're going to add in our veins. So, all right. I think that should work. Now, what I'm going to do next is go ahead and take this green, and I'm going to roll it. I'm going to push it in on itself a little bit to make it thicker, and then I'm going to go put it into the pasta machine on the thinnest setting. So for me, that's a 9. And then I'm going to take slices of this, and in theory, it should kind of look pretty cool because the color should variate along the whole leaf, or yeah, the whole petal. We'll see. All right, so now I kind of have it where I want it. I'm going to lay it down this way. In order to put the veins in, we don't actually want it to go all the way through to the top. We just want it to go part of the way. So I'm going to do the middle one first, because I think I want the middle one a little bit longer. So I'm going to cut my way through. If you can see, I'm not cutting it all the way through, just part of the way. Maybe a little bit more here. And then I'm going to slide my knife out. I'm going to split it open a little bit, and I'm going to come here. And that piece, I would say, needs to be, give or take about that long. You like my official measuring? And then I'm going to slide it in here and close that back up. For sake of this, just so I can show you what it looks like, I'm going to cut them off here. Now I did have it go all the way through here because this is going to be the middle where it hits the center of the flower. So, and also I don't have a whole lot of green, so I may end up needing to recycle those and reuse them. We shall see. All right, now I'm gonna take another one right here. It's not specific. You don't have to measure them. You don't have to do more than you want, less than. It's literally however, I gotta say this crazy, but whatever floats your boat. However you feel like doing. Because after all, this is your own creation. I'm just giving you some hints and ideas along the way. Okay, so once again, we're gonna push that in. And these, I'm just gonna pinch these edges off right here. Stick that over there. So now we got two. I'm turning it around this way just so I can see it a little bit better. I'm gonna put kind of halfway between the end and the middle one. Put another one. And I feel like, oh, I don't know, maybe it would be about that big. And again, we're gonna kind of seesaw it in there. There we go. Pinch those two ends off once again. And I feel like I could get some more in there because it's gonna look pretty cool and you don't want them all the same length. So now I'm gonna take one in between those two that I just put in there. Again, open it up. Make this one a little bit bigger. And go ahead and slide it in. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, pinch the ends off. And that's not looking too shabby. We won't know what it looks like until the very end, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stick another one in between these two so we kind of have a little bit of symmetry, even though honestly I'm pretty sure that there's no flowers that are really that symmetrical. Now, because I'm running low on it like I thought I might be, just gonna take this green, stick it through one time in the pasta machine and come back. Oh, that's pretty on that side. And that should give me just enough to make one more. Cut this short end off. And yeah, we'll take that. And whatever's left over. See how different they look? One side looks like that. The other side looks completely different. But I think in the end, at least that's what I'm hoping, it's going to make for some interesting petals. That's the goal. Okay. Now we got those all done. Can set this green aside. And again, those were all scraps that I would have literally just probably at one point in time thrown those away. But I try to hold on to as many scraps as I can because there's always some kind of weird use for them. They come in handy for a lot of things you wouldn't be expecting. All right, so since we're going to make this the center, this is the side that we're going to want to pinch in. So we're going to start squeezing. We're going to start squeezing up here till it comes to a center. See, like that. And now you're going to want to make this more rounded. I'm literally not going to lose any sleep over that, but that's what happens when you don't clean off your workspace. So we'll just, yeah, do that. So I'm rolling it like that a little bit just so it doesn't get that triangular feel and it feels a little bit more like a petal. Now the process is just going to be reducing it way down so that I have it's small enough where I'm going to want to have about, oh, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 petals. And ultimately I'm doing this cane I'm about to put together roughly 1.5 inches tall. So that's going to make it, this going to have to be out for about 10 inches. So I assume it's going to be a fairly small flower. But I'm going to lengthen this and come back and show you what it looks like when I go to cut it. Just a quick note. This is another way you can do it. Like, I'm not worried too much about the actual leaf shape. I don't want it to be perfectly round because I don't want it to distort. But with this, you can see that your green's all here. So you kind of know where the center is going to be that you're going to ultimately. So if it helps, see, I'm just rolling my fingers out with it a little bit. Anyway, just tricks of the trade. All right, actually, ooh, this camera, I gotta find something to keep it from shaking. I'm back. I got my 12 inches out here because I think I'm gonna try to do 8 petals. Now, what I decided to go ahead and do, since we had that green vein going through our leaves, in order to make it seem like it's normal, because I looked up purple flowers with green veins, and honestly, I didn't really see any, but you know, There's probably some somewhere. I'm gonna make this the center of the flower, so I'm just gonna cut off a little bit at the end there, make it give or take an inch and a half, and then there's the center of the flower. Now, that being said, we're gonna come over here. You can see me there just chopping off the very edge. And then I'm gonna make each of these an inch and a half long. 1, 2, I love this glass with the notches on it, so everything's so easy to measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I thought. And then I even had a little bit left, but it was starting to distort some, so I didn't want to go that far into it. All right, so here we go. If you can see, now we're gonna want to round off those edges a little bit so it looks less like a triangle and more like a leaf, although I don't know, maybe there's some leaves that look like that. I think you can still see the green veins in there, and we're gonna match it up right now with the center. Just gonna take the points out of those just a little bit, not a biggie. Once again, matching it up. You know, these are pretty easy little flowers. Sometimes I almost forgot to pinch it. Sometimes I forget to look at pictures of flowers for ideas. Sometimes I don't know, I get an idea like this one in my head. And I also wanted to use purple flower because in the one I'm building right now, the center flower is going to be a blue, and I didn't really have any purple, so I thought, hey, let's do a purple flower. Right now, I'm going to do half of it, right? Because I have enough to do that. Yeah. So I'm going to do half of it because you'll see when we get closer to it, when you go and start building the flower, sometimes you need only a half a flower when you're making these big canes. Now I'm going to take the little bit of green that's left, roll it out from the other half. That wasn't planned at all. I just came up with that idea just a second ago, and bam, it works. All right, so pinching the edges just a little bit. Here we go. And you can see it not too long at all. We have a nice, pretty little purple flower. Now, obviously, if you were doing another kind of project, you would go ahead and take this one if you just needed a flower, and you'd want to just finish it all the way around. That's all you would do, and it would have the same effect. Obviously, it would be a finished flower, not two halves like mine's going to be. But you'll see if you follow me and continue on to the cane we're going to build of the multiple flowers and leaves, you'll see why I'm doing all this craziness. So there we are, finished. So just pretend that's one. Honestly, you could almost use it as two. So see, there's your finished flower. I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little tutorial. I had fun making that, actually. And just goes to show, if y'all saw what a teeny tiny little bit of clay I had, yeah, it's only one flower, but for this, that's all I really needed. So you guys have an awesome day. It's Colleen again with Artwork by Colleen. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate you did so. And if you have already subscribed, sorry for the repeat message. You guys are awesome. Have a good one.